Charles Gray. I'm a senior at John Jay High School, and I'm a resident of the town of East Fishkill. I want to speak a little about 8.01, the start times to schools. I recommend that the board speak to high school students, especially athletes and athletic directors, because I know personally that I work, and it's very hard for me to get from school right at 1:45 end time to 2 o'clock, where I often have to go to work. And if we were to make these start times later, it could affect me working later into the night, as well as other students or athletes having to spend more time at the school and work later into the night. Often that could ripple effect into affecting our academic performance the next day. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Good evening, everyone. My name is John Metzger, and I have a child at St. Denis St. Columba School, and I just wanted to applaud the school board for not moving forward with the changes of time at this point. I think it's something that can be explored in the future, and maybe something can be worked out where it makes sense to make these changes. But right now, I can't see the benefit. It's 13 minutes, I think, that we were changing, and I think it was $280,000. That's it's actually 1/10% of your budget. Now, what's the downside to that? You're going to have 5-year-old children getting on the bus, going to a hub, and then being bused to another school. I don't think that's in their best interest. The other thing, you're going to have elementary age students on the bus with people that are in high school. I don't think that's appropriate. I know it happens, but I don't think we should pick things that probably aren't the best idea and lead in with that. I know it was stated that there was a 2-tier system at one time, and I can understand that, and with no disrespect here, I don't think there was iPhones and the things that we have now back when there was that 2-tier system. It's a constant battle as a parent to try and filter what your kid is exposed to on the internet, from their friends, from school, from the bus. I can tell you the bus is probably the worst thing, because you have a range. When I went to school, kindergarten to 5th grade, and then 6th grade to 8th grade, and then 8th up to 12. So you had, of course, everybody in 12 teaching the guys and girls in 8th all the things that they shouldn't be learning on the bus. It's just the reality of it. It's not in private school, it's not in public school, it's in every school. Now, we're going to double down. We're going to triple down. We're going to take people that are 18 years old and put them in a situation where they have 5-year-olds on the bus. I'm sure all these students are upstanding members of society. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the conversations, the everyday things that happen on the bus. I don't think it's a good idea to focus in on. But again, I'd like to thank you for tabling this for the time being. One other thing that I would like to state for the record, my wife didn't receive a phone call on the, there was a telephone call that went out to poll everybody. I did receive it. It went to my voicemail. I couldn't obviously call it back. It didn't seem to work that way. Oh, that's my time. But thank you, and I think maybe just a little more time looking into this. Thank you. Take care.
Maureen Cassidy. I would also like to thank the board for showing restraint and common sense and not following through with the change in start time before having appropriate information in front of them before doing so. In reference to that attendance piece, it was very interesting to see that it was information presented, but a lot of it was flawed data. I think maybe the Griffins should have had something to do with that report, because I think they would have done a much better job giving us information that was actually clear and useful. So I hope you move forward in segregating that data and actually getting usable information out of it. I think poor attendance does not start in 9th grade. I think you should go back to kindergarten, elementary, and junior high, and I'm sure you will see a pattern all the way through. So you may want to expand the scope of that attendance survey. Speaking of surveys, I would like us to put that survey to rest from the DFAC committee, because that was used and put up in reference to configuration. So to continue to use that information to justify any change you want to make is outrageous and it is not relevant. So I think that information should be put to rest. To also then say that $280,000 savings, well now, we were going to give you back sports, we were going to give you back clubs, we were going to give you back all these things if you gave us our way, and you didn't oppose this. I think to hold our kids hostage and to hold clubs and sports and positive things hostage if we don't do what you want is outrageous. To not want to support those activities, sports, clubs, marching band, those are the things that keep our kids in school, in attendance, and that is what the data and the research shows is what makes the difference in an academic performance and what gets kids accepted into colleges and universities. So we need to stop holding that money hostage from our children, and we need to take money and find it from somewhere else. Because when people wanted to disparage board members, $100 and something to $200,000 was found to pay lawyer fees. Let's go digging deep into those transfers and find that money to support our children. Support sports, support clubs, support intramurals, support marching band, support our children, and do not hold our money hostage.
Hi, Maureen Ryan again. Thank you very much for holding up on the transportation. I do appreciate it. I think it's a very sound move, and I think it's important. And just so that you all know, 20 minutes in the morning for school kids is like an hour. It's a big difference. And I invite all of you to come over to my house to get my kid out of the bed, because it's just not going to happen, all right? 13 minutes for high school, not a big deal. Middle school, it is massive. I'm just telling you, they won't get up. Also, that absenteeism report was very interesting, it was enlightening, and I also felt it was completely inaccurate and does need a lot of work. I'm not sure what the horns are sticking out for the school, but there is a completely different atmosphere that needs to be addressed. And I hope to God when this policy gets revised and they start digging into the data, that information be portrayed, because that school cannot be compared to any other school, and it's a fact. And if anybody wants to come sit with me, by all means, I'll explain it thoroughly. This Legislative Action Committee, I am fuming, if you can't tell. I am absolutely fuming. At a time when our education is being attacked, this district is willing to give up a voice to somebody that we don't know. Where is this person from? Can I ask that now and get an answer? This representative at BOCES, who is it? No, I can't get an answer, okay. If it's from New Paltz, I'll support the fellow. But I will tell you straight out that it is an absolute catastrophe to give up any voice this district possibly has to fight for our own kids. And this new agenda item with this letter, I completely oppose it. I think it is disgusting. I think it's underhanded for it to be tossed in like this. And I can tell you with certainty that teachers do not support that. Common Core does not do that for the children. It is not critical thinking. It removed the fundamentals and the tools that young kids need to become critical thinkers. It completely bypasses those fundamentals to be able to give them the tools to be critical thinkers. So that letter does not speak for teachers, I will tell you that. And I will speak on behalf of them because they can't speak up. I will be their voice. And I'm fuming about that. Again, I also wanted to back up Maureen. There was bait thrown out there that if we didn't do what you wanted, things would be taken away from our kids. That is wrong. That is not what you're here for. So I want a second thought for that. I'd love to know the origin of adding that Common Core letter thing. I'd love to know what the purpose of it was. All right, thank you.
Ed Sloshow again, East Fishkill. Thank you, Mrs. Cassidy and Mrs. Ryan. I was able to cross a lot of things off. You covered everything. I don't want to be repetitive, so I thank you. I just want to go back to a couple of things for the evening on the curriculum development. Look, my comments are simply this. I think Ms. Cintrone and the committee and her staff did a great job in creating these new courses for the kids. That's not the point I was trying to make. Okay? And you keep bringing up strategic planning. 60 plus hours of my life was given, and so were many other people within this community. Okay, one of the main goals of the core planning team and strategic planning team was to include and encourage not only the students, but the parents and the community in the participation of what goes on and in the decision-making process. This was discussed every single meeting, 60 plus hours. That was the main focus, and that was what core planning and strategic planning was about, a collaborative effort between everybody. I applaud Mr. Carrion. I wish that we can please continue that conversation to include parents. We're not asking for a decision or to be part of yes or no. We want to be part of the process. That is all we're asking. We leave it up to Ms. Cintrone and the people of that committee that she selected to put those courses together. We have to put faith, because you people put faith in those people, so we have to put faith in those people. That's all I was asking for the last two meetings with those particular points. Orchard View. Did I miss something in that presentation? Nobody goes to school. I don't understand that. Where is everybody? We're trying to track these students. How are they missing all these classes? Now, is it, God forbid, there's a medical condition or something going on? That's one thing. My biggest issue with Orchard View the last 2-3 years is not that the kids that truly need that program and it's there to help them, it's the students that are abusing it. Those are what has to be weeded out. If my daughter misses school, I have to send a letter in the next day. I get a phone call. I get a letter home if I forget to send a letter in to explain why she missed school. Where are those letters for all those students? What explanation is coming back to the school as to why those students are missing classes? We need to dig deeper. We need to find out. These are our tax dollars. Okay? It's a program that's needed, and I always said the program is there to help students. That's what it was created for. But it cannot be abused. If it's abused, you're out of the program. You miss 2 or 3 classes, you're out. That's it, unless there's a legitimate medical or some other reason why. That has to be addressed. Legislative Action Committee, which for 2, maybe 3 years I've been up here on my soapbox asking for. I couldn't believe what I heard today and at the last meeting. Okay, let's do a little history. And no offense to anyone sitting on the board. This was established by Madam President, and I appreciate that. On July 14th, I emailed Mr. Lumia. Here is an outline of my thoughts on how to put a charter together, and I gave that for the committee to be reviewed. Yes, ma'am.
3 minutes, yeah.
Okay. I'm not looking to, all I'm asking for, it needs to be reviewed. And Mr. Lumia resigned. You never replaced anybody.
Mr. Sloshow, we can't talk about people, individuals, please. Thank you.
Okay. No offense, madam, but at the last board meeting, Mr. Lumia takes my email and verbally, word for word, expresses my comments to the public as a reason why we should get rid of this committee. So, no offense, madam, but you know what? I will defend myself if you're going to take my words to explain your reasons why you don't think this is a good reason to do this committee. I'm sorry. I'm not looking to overstep my bounds, but I will defend myself. Thank you.
Hello, Lisa Dwyer, East Fishkill. First, I'd just like to say that I was happy to see that the bus start time decision was tabled for now. I'm hoping as part of the discussion tonight, which was just about talking to other districts in the area, I'm hoping there's more to the conversation about how the times listed in the resolution shorten the school day. Maybe take into consideration some of the suggestions that have been put out there about traffic study or talking to local authorities and all the other issues that were raised that I heard in public comment, not just let's talk to the other districts, but let's look at all the issues that were raised in relation to the start times. On a separate note, I would like to say congratulations to the Wappingers varsity gymnastics team. It's actually a district team, and they won their divisional, and there are 3 students, Olivia, Sabrina, and Jessica, sorry I don't have their last names, that are all representing Wappinger School District at the state championships.
Are there any further public comments? Okay, could we have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Soma, seconded by Mrs. Laval. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.